and this is a big worry. Student suicides are turning out to be a big concern in India. But why are the country's institutions becoming the epicenter of this pandemic? The country's premier institutions. Students of IITs and IIMs are considered the best minds in this country. They crack an exam that is tougher than getting into any Ivy League college. Then what is cracking them? It's a question we are forced to ask again today as a second-year-old B.Tech student died by suicide in IIT Madras this morning. This makes it the fourth such case in 3 months and the 12th in the last 5 years in IIT Madras. The student who died today was from Maharashtra and was pursuing chemical engineering. He was 20 years old. Now, no one is clear what pushed him to the edge, but IIT Madras is on the edge right now. As I said, this is the fourth suicide on campus in the last 3 months. Earlier, on February 14th, a PG, that's a postgraduate student, was found dead at IIT Madras. A suicide note that was found read, and I quote, "Don't prosecute." On March 14th, a third-year B.Tech student from Andhra Pradesh died by suicide. And then on March 31st, a PhD scholar took his own life. His WhatsApp status said, "I am sorry, not good enough." What's unfortunate is the spate of suicides at IIT since 2018. Between 2018 and now, as many as 33 students have died by suicide. Counting this one, that will be 34. What's more, 50% are from the marginalized communities. Now, the IITs, it's not like the IITs are not doing anything. They are. This is how they're dealing with growing suicides on campus. They've launched a happiness course. They have a Recce Center for Excellence for the Science of Happiness. It aims to promote research and training and education and the practice of well-being for students and teachers through the application of happiness and well-being. IITs also have launched Bandhu. It's a self-help website to improve the emotional well-being of students and inspiring them in dealing with various challenges positively. IITs across the country have also been setting up health and wellness centers to provide better care for students. Question is, why is all of this not helping? Let me put that to our guests this evening who are joining us for a very quick chat here on Mirror Now. Anand Kumar is founder of Super 30. He, on an everyday basis, is dealing with IIT aspirants, and when they clear the IITs, most of his students clear the IITs, they come back and they tell him exactly what it feels like to be in IIT. It's a dream come true, but for many students, is it turning into a nightmare? That's what I want to ask him. We also have Dr. Harish Shetty, who's a psychiatrist, specializes in studying suicides, if I may describe it as that. Dr. Shetty, thank you very much. Anand Kumar, I'm coming to you first. कुछ समझ आ रहा है? ये आप देखिए बच्चों का कैलिबर जो आईआईटी में जाते हैं, इस समय तो मैं आईआईएम की बात ही नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं सिर्फ आईआईटी की बात कर रही हूँ। अगर 5 साल में देखें तो 34 बच्चे ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने कई कारणों की वजह से अपनी जान ले लिया है, who have committed suicide. 50% of the students have belong to marginalized communities, and most of those students have been from Maharashtra. कुछ समझ आ रहा है कि ये इतने ब्राइट बच्चे जो इतनी मेहनत करके अपना सब कुछ देके आईआईटी में अपने लिए एक सीट लेके आते हैं, वो बच्चे किस प्रेशर के अंडर क्रैक कर रहे हैं जहां उनको लग रहा है कि बस हमारी जिंदगी अब खत्म, इसके आगे कुछ नहीं बचा है।
ये बहुत बड़ी समस्या है और बहुत दुखद समस्या है। अभी आईआईटी की कमेटी की डायरेक्टर्स की मीटिंग भी हुई है 2 दिनों पहले, तो लोग इस पर चर्चा भी किए, लेकिन कोई समाधान निकल के नहीं आ रहा है। दरअसल में होता क्या है कि जब बच्चे पढ़ के जाते हैं, खासकर जो दबे कुचले समाज के बच्चे हैं, जब पढ़ के जाते हैं तो वहां उनको काफी क्लास डिफरेंस का सामना करना पड़ता है। वहां ऐसी काउंसलिंग की व्यवस्था नहीं होती है, जो बच्चा कोई कमजोर वर्ग से आया तो उसको मोटिवेट किया जाए, ऐसी व्यवस्था भी नहीं होती है। जहां आपसी सौहार्द बनाए रखे, ऐसी व्यवस्था भी नहीं होती है। तो जब क्लास में बच्चा जाता है तो उसकी पढ़ाई इंग्लिश में होती है, वो समझता है थोड़ा थोड़ा, लेकिन कोई सवाल होता है तो पूछने में घबराता है। वो ऐसी परिस्थिति में प्रोफेसर उसको इनकरेज नहीं करते हैं कि अरे भैया हिंदी में पूछो या लोकल लैंग्वेज में, रीजनल लैंग्वेज में पूछो, हम प्रयास करेंगे, धीरे धीरे इंग्लिश सीखो। ये तमाम मुश्किलों का सामना बेचारा नहीं कर पाता है और वो घबरा के इस दुनिया से चला जाता है। सोचिए कि घबराहट की तीव्रता कितनी रहती होगी।
ये बात तो आपकी बिल्कुल सही है, लेकिन सिर्फ ये घबराहट है डॉक्टर हरीश शेट्टी, और इज देयर मोर टू इट? बिकॉज इट्स नॉट जस्ट चिल्ड्रन हु आर कमिंग फ्रॉम marginalized societies who are committing suicide at the IITs. In fact, I was looking at the age profile, and I found that these are, these could be first year students, these could be second year students, they could also be 30-year-old PhD students.
Absolutely. I think what is very important to understand is students who are committing suicide also do in other colleges and in schools. Most students commit suicide in schools and colleges other than IITs, but IIT is a special place. Now, what happens is many IITs have counseling centers and many IITs have faculties who are mentors. But suicide is becoming an epidemic in the country. There's been 10% increase in suicide between 2019 to 2020, and 7% increase in suicide between 2020 and 2021. It's assuming massive proportions. IIT should screen proactively all students every month. And for that, faculty should go to the counseling centers and screen themselves. Evolution starts from the top. That's number one. Let us not look at caste, religion, ideology. If at all you need to understand why suicides are happening in IITs, let's not be simplistic. Let's not be generic. Psychological autopsy is the answer. Let's not politicize suicide ever. Let us keep the politicians away who are playing games on the death of the children. Psychological autopsy is a scientific way by which suicide can be analyzed. Police inquiry is not enough. Parliamentary committee is not enough. Proper scientific psychological autopsy done all over the world to understand suicide should be done here. In India too, psychological autopsies are conducted when people from the Indian Army end their lives. I have conducted psychological autopsies. It's a scientific process to understand what happens. Unless you bring science to understand suicides anywhere in IITs or elsewhere, one will not understand the processes. And once you understand the processes, we'll be able to put into action preventive measures. Let's not be simplistic. Let's not be generic. Suicide is a complex process. Just because one student fights the other, you don't have suicide. It has to be really seen in a layered manner. There are many layers. It doesn't happen impulsively all the time, instinctively, or just like that. It's not like a cold cough or a fever.
But this is what I want to ask you, Dr. Shetty. What is psychological autopsy, first of all? And when young men are screened for the army, they're going to the army. Going to the IIT is not going to the army, right? There's a difference between the armed forces and the IIT.
My dear friend, madam.
Are you telling me? Hear my question out.
Yes.
Dr. Shetty, let me complete my question. Are you telling me that before, like in the army, when you screen every young man and woman who gets recruited, you screen the mental health of that person, the same should be conducted at the IITs and India's premier institutes? Is that what you're saying, sir?
I would say that screening of students should happen in all places, but only for inclusion, not for exclusion. Some medical colleges are screening kids and their wards so that they can help them early. Nothing wrong in that. I am saying in the army, suicides happen once they are commissioned after 5 years, 10 years. It is very common. What is important is they look at it scientifically. They don't look at it with the denominator of caste or religion. So screening, as long as it is inclusive and not to exclude anybody, screening, as long as we can provide preventive measures and therapeutic measures should be done. Mental health is important for everybody in the 21st century. IIT, you, me, and corporates, and anywhere. Build mental health systems, spend more time spend more time and money than a festival or in IITs, and let the faculties lead it by themselves submitting themselves for mental health screening. Evolution starts from the top. Revolution starts from below. But many IITs are doing good work. I have been associated with at least one of them. And what is important is we need to really push it much harder, much faster. Do not play politics with
Okay, so you're
suicides
telling me,
in IITs.
I agree. I agree. I agree. This is not a blame game, but the fact is this is India's premier institute. And if you have 4 students who commit suicide in 3 months, it is something we need to take, we need to talk about. You simply cannot brush it under the carpet. And the suicides, Anand Kumar, have happened for various reasons. कहीं discrimination बोला है, कहीं academic pressure बोला है. मैं आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ, आपके बहुत सारे पढ़ाए हुए बच्चे IITs में हैं, वो जब वापस आते हैं, आपसे बात करते हैं, तो किस तरह के प्रेशर्स की बात करते हैं? सिर्फ एक डिस्क्रिमिनेशन तो प्रेशर नहीं हो सकता, सिर्फ ये प्रेशर तो नहीं हो सकता कि हमें अंग्रेजी नहीं बोलनी आती और बाकियों को अंग्रेजी बोलनी आती है. क्या एकेडमिक प्रेशर भी है और क्या एक एकेडमिक एपैथी भी है? क्या आप देख रहे हैं अब कि इंस्टीट्यूशन देख रहा है कि बच्चा स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, उसको अंग्रेजी में नहीं समझ आ रही हैं चीजें, उसके साथ बुलिंग हो रही है क्योंकि वो मार्जिनलाइज क्लास से आता है, फिर भी इंस्टीट्यूशन कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, देख रहा है लेकिन सोच रहा है कि बच्चा खुद संभल जाएगा.
नहीं, इंस्टीट्यूशन कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, ऐसी बात नहीं कर रहे, हम आरोप नहीं लगा रहे, बल्कि हम बोल रहे कि इंस्टीट्यूशन देख ही नहीं रहा, देख के चुप नहीं, इस बात पर ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहा है कि बच्चे समझ पा रहे हैं या नहीं समझ रहे हैं. वहां एक परंपरा है कि भाई जो सवाल आया है, जो प्रॉब्लम्स पूछे जाएंगे, सवाल पूछे जाएंगे, जो क्वेश्चन पूछे जाएंगे, उसकी तैयारी बड़े कम टाइम पीरियड में करके अच्छे मार्क्स ले जा सकते हैं और फर्स्ट ईयर से सेकंड से थर्ड में जा सकते हैं. लेकिन फिर भी मेरा मानना है, डॉक्टर शेट्टी साहब ने ठीक बोला, लेकिन मेरा मानना है कि जो मार्जिनल बैकग्राउंड से बच्चे आते हैं, कहीं ना कहीं वो प्रेशर महसूस करते हैं. और उनका भी क्या है कि जिस तरह से पढ़ के आते हैं, आईआईटी की तैयारी करके आते हैं, वो कोचिंग में जो तैयारी की करवाई जाती है, उसका हाउ एंड व्हाई भी नहीं बताया जाता है, डिटेल नहीं बताया जाता है. जब क्वेश्चन, प्रैक्टिस, आंसर, इस पर तो आईआईटी में चले जाते हैं, लेकिन उस पढ़ाई को समझ के उसको अच्छा करके आगे बढ़ने के लिए बहुत ही स्ट्रगल करना पड़ता है. जहां तक सुपर 30 के बच्चे की बात रही, तो मैं तो बच्चों को शुरू से ही अपना 2 साल के समय में ट्रेनिंग देते रहता हूँ कि वहां जाके घबराना नहीं है, अच्छा करना है, इन समस्याओं का तुम्हें सामना करना पड़ेगा. तो आज तक हमारे बच्चे, सुसाइड को तो छोड़ दीजिए, कोई बच्चा फेल नहीं हुआ है. और बच्चे पढ़कर अमेरिका, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, जापान, बाहर और यहाँ भी यूपीएससी करके अच्छे अच्छे जगहों पर इंजीनियर, आईएएस, आईपीएस है. तो मुख्य मुद्दा ये उठता है कि जब बच्चों में समस्या आती है तो कोई बात करने वाला नहीं होता है, उनके दर्द को कोई समझने वाला नहीं होता है. और डॉक्टर शेट्टी इस बात को अच्छे से समझते होंगे, बोल सकते हैं कि वैसे में बच्चा फिर शांत रहने लगता है, एकांत में रहने लगता है. तब आईआईटी का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का, यहाँ एकेडमिक लोगों की नजर उस बच्चे पर नहीं जाती है, जानी चाहिए, ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए कि कौन बच्चा शांत है, एक्टिव नहीं है, उसका परफॉर्मेंस कैसा आ रहा है. अगर तमाम चीजों के बारे में जानकारी रखी जाएगी तो उसको सुधार किया जा सकता है.
डॉक्टर हरीश शेट्टी, आनंद तो इस सेइंग कि इंस्टीट्यूशन देख ही नहीं रहा है. ऐसा नहीं है वो देख के अनदेखा कर रहा है. They are simply not concerned. And things like these happiness courses and Bandhu app, launching an app will not solve the problem here. Can I ask you a question? I think that is practical and should be asked on this show, Dr. Shetty. If someone is having suicidal thoughts, what are the signs that we need to look out for? Because, after all, this child is not living in isolation. This young student is not living in isolation. He's living in a campus that is filled with people his own age group. So why is he not speaking to someone? And if you're a friend on campus, what is it that you need to look out for? What are the signs that you need to look out for if you think your friend is depressed and possibly suicidal? And what do you do after that?
I'll take 10 seconds before that. Premier institutions or non-premier institutions, intelligence and mental health are not at all related. That's number one. And number two is, I work opposite IITB. They have an excellent counseling center. They have mentoring program, but I still feel that they should show the passion as much as they show in Mood Indigo. It should be a community-driven activity. Now, when somebody is very quiet and withdrawn, stays inside his hostel, does not attend class, somebody avoids speaking to his friends, Somebody avoids answering WhatsApp messages among friends groups. Somebody has not called up his family for a very long time. Eats less, not is not seen in the common room, is not seen in the mess. Somebody also is very irritable, very agitated, doesn't sleep, goes up and down, goes up and down. Somebody talks about death. Somebody says he's hopeless, is worthless. Somebody feels it's a burden on his family. And somebody who says that if I go, nothing's going to happen, the world is going to be better. Any indication, any one indication, it should be reported immediately and that person should be screened. Come what may. And before that, we should not wait for that. I would say students should be screened every month, voluntary or involuntary. And faculty should also present themselves for screening so that students feel comfortable. Stigma has to be killed, and this should be made as a normal activity, not only in IITs, but every engineering college and every school and college. I work with schools and colleges every week. So I know that early intervention, early screening can prevent tuberculosis, early screening can prevent so many other illnesses, including COVID, similarly mental illness and suicide. But do not play political football with suicides in IIT.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that is not the intention of this show. The intention of this show is to speak about something that frankly is unfortunate, tragic, and very, very worrying. We'll leave it there for the moment. Dr. Shetty, thank you very much. Anand, as always, good to get your perspective. Thank you very much. And for anyone watching this who is feeling distressed, please know that you're not alone and that there is help available. In fact, we are sharing the numbers of suicide prevention helplines on your screens. There they are. I'll ask my producer to just be on these suicide prevention helpline numbers for the next 20 seconds so that if anyone is watching and any one of you needs to note down these numbers, please do that. Please seek help. If you don't want to call a helpline, call a friend, call your parents, call any of your siblings, call a neighbor if you're comfortable with them. If you're having suicidal thoughts, speak to someone. If you have no one to speak to, these are the helplines that are on your screens. Call them. This is professional help that is available for you. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's much more news coming up on the other side. Do